Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we have reached a pivotal point. But before that, make sure that you have.
Please go to webuildlegacy.com right now
Mhm.
to get your opportunity in for a free resource. What's Black Love got to do with it? This is the free resource you could read along as we go through this particular reading and commentary. And also, please go to the YouTube page, webuildlegacy.com, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you can be
Exactly.
abreast of our new upcoming videos.
Exactly. This is a pivotal point here, primarily because now we start to shift. It's a special note to you because, truthfully, you don't have to read this next section. This next section is just it's optional. But if you're like me and you see, um, if you like, you'll hear it. It's just a little message. You make your decision whether you want to stay here and read the next few pages or you want to jump to, I think it's page 48. You can make that decision. All right. All right. So let's see how it goes.
All right, here's a special note to readers. The next section is optional. It does not specifically relate to relationships and is not necessary to understand the information offered toward the sustainability and resiliency of Black couples. This section is for those who may be like I once was, challenged to see beyond the single perspective that I had been shown throughout my life. For me, it meant that there were automatically realities that I should not doubt and questions that I should never ask. While researching gender roles from an African American context, I was required to ask all of the questions. And any assumptions that I was making needed to be supported with research. So I asked all of the questions that came to my mind. Nothing was off limits, and allowed the answers I found to influence my personal life, my work, and ultimately my worldview. For those who may find yourself on a similar path, I offer you the next section, addressing some of the contradictions. For those who prefer to continue reading about Black love, please jump to page 48, an African context for Black couples.
Okay.
Guys, yeah,
this is my jam. This is my jam.
I think I'm interested and intrigued to go into this next section because if you're called to be a lifelong learner like us, like we know you are, it's going to cause you to periodically have questions. And this is something that
Yeah.
my wife and I have encouraged our children throughout their development to be individuals to ask questions. And it just draws and bears to mind, if you're in organizations or situations where you can't ask questions, then you might want to think if you're in a particular system or a thought path of control. Because anytime someone is hindering you from asking questions, I guess that would only draw more questions to myself, and as it should you, is that okay, what is the actual purpose of this particular system or arrangement or agreement or relationship I'm in if I can't ask questions if something doesn't seem quite right?
Yeah, I was thinking about when our little ones are little, they have the why, why, why. And somewhere along the line, people tell us, hey, you don't ask why. And we stop. But curiosity is a natural part of growing, discovery, exploration. Having questions is natural. And so when we are getting the impression that our questions are not welcome and they're not good, and even that they might swing to the point of that this is bad, I never said that to my kids, but just the whole notion of this works against what we're trying to do. Why are you asking questions about this? You do not question that. You do not ask about that. You just do whatever. Those that was one of the reasons that I embraced research so much, because you remember when the kids were little and they watched Veggie Tales. And I remember I literally, when I was doing my research and I was asking these taboo questions that you're just not supposed to technically ask. And all I kept hearing was, God is bigger than the boogeyman. He's bigger than Godzilla and the monsters on TV. Oh, God, you know, right? And so the thought literally came to me because I had some children when I was doing my research that were still young. And so the thought came to me and I was just like,
he's watching over you.
Oh, someone's caught up now. I got to the place where I resolved this. I said that if God is the biggest, then there is absolutely no question that I can ask about him or ask him. And even though even now I don't even, it's like, even just being honest, just because it came up, like I embrace the feminine and the masculine of God, you know, the many-breasted one. Come on. 1 minute is breast. Don't y'all, I have to watch myself. I'm gonna be right. But don't do me. I just can't.
I'll just take the note out so you can see you. Go ahead, pose for the people.
Don't do me.
Pose for the people. Yeah. Pose for the people.
I'm just saying. We can acknowledge the
breasted,
the many-breasted one. That's what it said. Anyway, let me get myself back together. Right? I asked all the questions, and I know if you were like me and you have a strong foundation, especially in Christianity, there are some things that you're not supposed to ask. And I'm being very specific because I really want you to be helped and I really want you to be blessed in your relationships. I will say this: trust that God is the biggest. Just trust that God is the biggest and that God will be the biggest after you ask your questions. Okay? You do not have to be fearful. Stop being so fearful. Fear has torment. If you're afraid to ask a question, how is that God?
Please take opportunity right now and write your comments, concerns, or questions below in the comment sections.
Yes.
Even if you want to identify some of those fears to us, yourself, and our audience, go ahead and write them into that comment box and go ahead and release those fears. Take the opportunity right now and visit webuildlegacy.com and download your free resource, What's Black Love Got to Do with It, as we go through and continue to read through this amazing research of Dr. Dula. And we'll see you guys on the other side. So thank you.
All right. It's coming.